Welcome to the Wealthy Practitioner Podcast. I'm Dr. Nikki Cottis.
I'm Dr. Alejandro Elias.
And I'm Dr. Gabrielle Manto. Together, we help wellness practitioners build profitable, scalable businesses without sacrificing their health, their families, or their freedom.
On this podcast, we'll talk profit, leadership, and ownership, so your business works for you, not the other way around.
This is the Wealthy Practitioner Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Wealthy Practitioner Podcast. My name is Gabrielle. I am one of your TWP support coaches, and I'm also one of the co-hosts for this podcast. And as always, I'm so honored that I get to spend a couple minutes with you guys each and every month. For those of you who do not know, I work alongside my husband, alongside Trey. We are both chiropractors working in the same office in the same building. And so I wanted to chat with you guys what that looked like. Now, we all need to come to the same conclusion. It does not matter if your spouse doesn't work in the same business as you, and it doesn't even matter if they're not even in the same profession as you. We all work with our spouse, right? For our common mission that you have for your marriage, for your family, for community. So even when you guys are at home, you're still working together. So what we learned early on was that success wasn't really about splitting everything evenly. It was about leveraging each other intentionally. So from the very beginning, even when we were brand new and still figuring out our footing, we understood that two doctors trying to do a little bit of everything would only just keep us busy, right? It would not make us profitable. So we made a decision early on to leverage each other instead of duplicating essentially duplicating the effort. And so we wanted to make sure that I was doing tasks and things that were moving the needle in our business that I was actually good at, and same with Trey. And so on day one, our roles weren't perfect by any means. If you ask Trey, he said that our roles has not changed very much. However, I believe our roles have, but they were intentional. So one of us naturally took ownership of where the practice was going. So thinking about growth, vision, pricing, marketing, referrals, and the bigger decisions that would shape the business, while the other one focused on execution. So making sure that our patients were taken care of, systems were running, flow made sense, the day-to-day experience inside the office was solid. And so we were both adjusting and both working hard, but we were not trying to lead the business in the same way at the same time. So over the last 4.5 years, right? Like I mentioned, our roles have evolved as the practice has grown, but the structure itself truly has never changed. So one of us own growth and direction, which means responsibility for, again, vision, standards, retention, patient experience, marketing, and referral relationships, while the other one owns delivery and execution, which includes numbers, revenue targets, pricing, scheduling, flow, team performance, and the systems that make our practice feel calm, consistent, and of course, high level too. And so this being said, because this also gets tricky as well, ownership does not mean exclusivity, right? We are both fully capable of doing one another's role, so stepping in when needed and understanding the full picture of our business, but we are both not responsible for driving the same outcomes at the same time. So for example, even if I am in charge of marketing, that doesn't mean that Trey never markets. If Trey's in charge of team, that doesn't mean I don't step in and share the vision with the team or host or do team meetings as well. So we both can leverage and can naturally flow into each other's roles. But again, we are not both responsible for driving the same outcomes at the same time. So this distinction matters because most two-doc practices get stuck trying to be fair instead of being clear. So both doctors stay in production all day, both kind of manage, both touch marketing when they have time, and nobody truly is steering the business. Effort replaces leadership, busyness replaces strategy, right? And so two docs end up producing what one doc should be able to produce alone. And so what changed everything for us was committing to clear ownership while maintaining mutual respect and flexibility. We also trial and error too, so roles out for 90 days. So if there was something that we needed a new role for or needed a clearer strategy for, I might step into that role for 90 days to make sure that that truly lights my soul on fire and that I'm actually good at it. And so same thing with Trey too. If there was a new role, he would also trial it out for 90 days. If he did like it, amazing. He took full ownership. If not, we would pivot. A two-doc practice scales when responsibilities are clear, not when everything is shared. When one person owns growth and one person owns execution while both understand and can support the other role when necessary, revenue stops feeling confusing and starts becoming predictable. So that's truly how Trey and I built this from day one and why it still works now. So if you are listening to this podcast and thinking like, oh, I have a lot of work to do with my spouse or another doc that I'm opening up our practice, because this isn't just for spouses. This is for also if you both opened with another doc, you both opened your business as co-owners. Here are some reflection questions for you to jot down and figure this out for your team. When the business feels stressful or uncertain, where do I naturally step in control to fix first? So this question truly reveals your default leadership instinct. Which part of business do I quietly resent being responsible for, even if I'm good at it? So resentment is information. And this, again, these questions and the responsibilities for each of you guys to take is super important because this is when we start getting resentful towards the other person. If something in the practice underperforms, where do I already feel the weight of the pressure land on me? This question, so this is where you're already owning more than you admit. Where am I staying involved out of habit or fairness, not because it's actually the best use of me? So this exposes role overlap. And then finally, the fifth reflection question I guys want you to think about is if I had to fully own one lane for the next 90 days, which one would I choose and which one would I feel relieved to let go of? So relief is clarity. And so if you guys have any questions on how I navigated this or how any of the team at TWP navigated this, just let us know. You can find me on Instagram. If you're already one of our clients at TWP, don't hesitate to hit me up on Circle. We are here to support you guys in every step of the way. This is huge. So if you guys can get this down sooner rather than later, this truly builds a solid foundation for your practice, especially as your team grows. If you decide that you want to do something else in business or add another business onto your plate, these roles help to clarify sooner rather than later so that you guys can both stay in your lanes of genius or your zones of genius, your lanes of excellence. I, as always, am so honored to be with you guys each and every month. Again, if you need anything, just let me know and I will see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Wealthy Practitioner Podcast. If you want to connect with other practitioners just like you, be sure to join our Facebook group at The Wealthy Practitioner and be sure to follow us on Instagram. See you next week.